An incredibly effective total body workout, and it's free everywhere. One of the best medicines against stress, depression, and anxiety.
Doesn't cost any money.
It guarantees you a 100% natural glowy tan. It allows you to spend time outdoors, away from your smartphone. It improves the overall health of your body, mind, and soul.
Oh, did I mention that it's free? Today I'm going to show you something that is great for your body, mind, and spirit. Save the world and keep some extra money in your pocket. I'm here back at Sacred Nectar Sanctuary at the bottom of the White Mountains in New Hampshire, United States. A place that I visited 6 months ago, and I found it so incredible that I decided to shoot an entire documentary about it. You can find it here. I highly invite you to check it out. If you're familiar with my channel and you know this place already, you might already understood what activity this is. Have you guessed yet? Are you one of those people who has a subscription to the gym but doesn't really like to go? Please, cancel and keep your money. And now come with me, I'll show you how gardening offers the best workout ever. Shoveling compost or soil or anything else is very good for your arms, your pectorals, your biceps, your forearms, and the muscles of your back too. You see how I'm using the muscles of my legs too? Pushing the wheelbarrow is a great total body workout. Once it's time to compost the bed, work on your legs. The weeding activity can provide the perfect angle to stretch your hamstrings.
It can also be a great hip opener. Who needs to do yoga when you can just garden?
If you think about it, the physical activity you do at the gym goes into waste. Instead, ask your neighbor or your friend or your uncle to help them in the garden, or create your own garden.
So many people nowadays work from their computer, either from the office or from home. That means spending most of your day 100% indoors.
After I worked all day indoors on my computer, I really don't want to stay indoors in my free time as well. So I just come here, plant some plants, sunbathe, get some fresh air, and listen to the birds chirping. Weeding is one of those activities that are constantly required in a garden. How can we explain what weeding is, Colin?
Basically, you're just pulling out all the plants that aren't what you're trying to grow, and it's important because it takes water and nutrients away from the plants that you are trying to grow. It's very meditative because it's something that you don't have to think about doing. It's just a very repetitive movement, and gives you a lot of time to be with your thoughts and to just really listen to whatever comes up in your mind.
I personally love weeding. I think it's a very meditative and almost therapeutic kind of activity, but it can also be done in company, and then it becomes a very sociable activity, just as much planting is.
Just open up a little bit of hole with your hand, put it in, and then close it nice and gently together and push down, and that will get rid of any air pockets and make your plant nice and snug.
It's great to have a chat with other people, especially now in times where social life is not as easy anymore. Today we planted onions, and we did so while chatting about our day and talking about our lives. It's been very nice to spend time together and have a good conversation.
The onions are my favorite. Onions.
Let's talk about the greatest thing about gardening now. Because by doing this one activity, not only you're getting all these benefits, you're also producing something, fresh food. Look at these juicy, beautiful leaves of spinach. That's one of the many advantages of working in a farm or in a garden. You can just have a snack while you work. It's delicious and it's healthy. Most of the vegetables we eat progressively lose their precious nutrients after they've been harvested. And when we buy produce at the supermarket, they've been sitting for days, weeks, or even months in fridges before they come to our table. To counterbalance this huge loss, eating some of your vegetables straight from the garden would be the best way to go. There are no fresher vegetables than the ones that you harvested yourself. Although these benefits are amazing, in my opinion, the most important one is the one related to the consequences that this activity has to the environment around us. When done right, gardening and farming mean doing good to nature and preserving it healthy. If you got all your workouts at the gym, you'd be consuming the electricity through the machines that you use and the air conditioning of the place. You'd be consuming the actual tools and machines that you use that therefore need to be replaced more often, causing waste. If you don't take care of your mental health properly, maybe you will go to seek for therapy, which will bring you to work more long hours to afford to pay for therapy, which was probably one of the biggest problems in the first place. But there is also a precise scientific reason why gardening is good for the environment. And I'll let explain it to you by Tristan and Zach, co-founders of the Waxing Moon Gardening, the gardening and farming project that is in place here at Sacred Nectar Sanctuary.
Plants take the carbon out of the atmosphere and bring it down through their roots into the soil. I think that would be the simplest way to say it.
Yeah, because the plants breathe in carbon dioxide and then in turn they exudate carbon through their roots, which gets stored into the organic matter in the soil.
Gardening in this way is good for the environment because the plants are able to take the carbon out of the atmosphere, bring it down through their roots into the soil and store it. It's also good because it cuts down on your personal use of carbon too, because you don't have to travel to the grocery store. Farming and gardening in this way is one of the best things that you can do to pull carbon out of the atmosphere and get it back into the soil.
Yeah.
To help climate change, because that's a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I convinced you. Now go get your best workout ever. And when you come back, check out my documentary about Sacred Nectar Sanctuary, this place that I shot last October. You can find it here in the description. You know the drill. Bye.
We're always trying to have plants growing, whereas a lot of bigger farming or even bigger gardening don't try to have plants growing all year, with cover cropping and just making sure every bed has something growing in it sooner rather than later.
To keep living roots in the soil as much as possible.
The Rodale Institute has also published a lot of information on organic gardening and farming versus conventional gardening and farming. They're starting to dive into even like nutrient density studies.
Your inner nerd is showing.
Shovel. How was that? Your back thighs. Is it right? And the ones that you harvest yourself. To the environment around us. The ones that you harvested yourself.
Summer would not be summer without red long onions of tropea.
What are you talking about? You don't like Winnipesaukee? I'm like, well, if you lived here, you'd know that it's a cesspool of tourists and garbage.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Tristan. And we
we
run
Waxy Moon Gardens.
Nailed it!
Oh, did I mention that it's free?